Sacramento, California state capital and host to the 2025 SBD World's Strongest Man, where the fans await the athletes of Group 5 in the start of their qualifying round for a spot in this year's final. We're here in Sacramento, California, continuing the qualifying round of the 2025 SBD World's Strongest Man. I'm Carter Blackburn with five-time WSM competitor Rob Kearney. Only 2 spots remain in the final as we continue with Group 5's qualifying round. 3 veterans, 2 rookies. Who were the favorites in Group 5?
I think the first name we have to look at is the T-Rex Evan Singleton of the USA, an athlete who I would say competes with a little more excitement than most, always coming out and ready to put on a show. An all-around stud of an athlete when it comes to athleticism, pressing power, and deadlift strength. Evan is certainly one that has the athleticism, the strength, and the mindset to stand on the top of the podium this week. But we have to see if he can control himself enough to stay out of our danger zone and work his way into possible injury. It's something that has plagued him in the past that we're hoping to avoid this week.
We will also see Great Britain's Luke Stoltman making his 10th World's Strongest Man appearance, 5 finals. At age 40, does Luke still have what it takes to make it to the top?
Well, it seems like Luke is only getting better with age, making his first World's Strongest Man final back in 2019, beating out a strong Rob Kearney for that final spot. He seems to be getting better and better every year. He comes in with a more athletic package than he has in the past, and he seems motivated and focused to squeak his way into the final.
His brother Tom has already made the final, so it would be amazing to see another spicy Stoltman brothers reunion in the final again this year. Also in this group, 2 rookies, Great Britain's Andrew Flynn, American Nick Gardione, and 2-time finalist Ukraine's Pavlo Kordiaka. And their first event is the loading medley.
In this medley, athletes have 4 sandbags, each weighing 287 pounds. They are ranging from 5 to 20 meters away from the back of that truck, and they only have 1 minute and 15 seconds to complete the course.
Representing Great Britain,
from Great Britain, Andrew Flynn, first World's Strongest Man appearance, but he is a contender at age 33. And the American Evan Singleton, 3rd place in last year's World's Strongest Man.
And we know Evan is coming in with that tenacity as he always does, but this is an event that does lend itself to Andrew as well, being a smaller, well-conditioned athlete.
Rob, this is something I think most people would be familiar with, loading something into something, but this is a very different load into the back of a truck.
It really is. I mean, these sandbags, each weighing 287 pounds, they vary in shape and size, really making it a difficult event. And unfortunately, we see Evan there grabbing his left arm. A typical injury that we sometimes see in an event like this is an injury to that bicep. So hopefully that is not the case, but he does look to be in a good amount of pain.
So, Rob, you and I discussed this earlier. Andrew Flynn continues on despite the injury to Evan, and Flynn is doing pretty well right now. And in fact, wow, 45.66.
Showing off that conditioning, Andrew Flynn coming in at 45.66, looking fast to start this event. But unfortunate for Evan Singleton to have that injury in the first event.
And did not look good walking off. We'll await the official word, but for now, Andrew Flynn, current leader with 45.66.
And you can see Evan here going for that bag and grabbing that left shoulder right away. Obviously seems to be in pain. We'll wait for an official update. But Andrew Flynn coming out in this first event in his first World's Strongest Man appearance, looking smooth, fast, and strong.
Representing the
We
United
have some
States of
strong
America,
rookies. Nick Gardione is among them from the United States, Houston, Texas. And a very familiar name, Luke Stoltman.
Britain's strongest man, Luke.
Oh yeah, look at all of the
Stoltman.
accomplishments through the years for Luke Stoltman, a very familiar face here at World's Strongest Man.
This is going to be an exciting race. You know, it is experience versus the rookie. But that rookie is no slouch. 6'5", well over 300 pounds. And look at these guys off to the races.
Wow, that 45.66 may be in jeopardy between Guardione and Luke Stoltman. The speed too, Rob, not just the strength, but the speed to get back to those bags.
And this is the coolest part about strongman. Not only do these athletes have to be remarkably strong, but the level of athleticism these athletes have to be running back and forth between these sandbags and these trucks is just absolutely amazing. And we have a race here to the finish between these two athletes.
45.66 no longer stands. Wow, Luke Stoltman. I mean, Guardione has reason to celebrate as well, but Luke Stoltman, a performance.
What an exciting way for this event to go. Nick Guardione coming in at 41.34. Second place here on that event, which means Luke Stoltman, our new leader,
with a time of 41.21. Let's hear it for Luke.
coming in just tenths of a second ahead of Nick Guardione. And both of these athletes absolutely blistering this course. It was great to see the experience and the excitement from the new rookie, Nick Guardione. Both of them coming out here and putting on a show.
Well, both the veteran and the rookie put up impressive times, and now we turn our attention to Pavlo Kordiaka from Ukraine, another 6'5" strongman who has a chance to even better those incredible times.
And Pavlo is another athlete built on speed. You can see him just tossing that first sandbag into the back of the truck, trying to conserve energy on his way back to those following sandbags, because again, these sandbags get further and further away from that truck where they have to load these implements, so they have to conserve some energy, but also have that clock in the back of their mind, making sure they're pushing for that top time.
Well, and look at the clock now. He's on bag 4 before 30 seconds, so 41.21 put up by Luke Stoltman possibly could not last very long. Here comes Kordiaka, and now he is the leader. Wow, the sandbags have been beneficial to the last few competitors here at World's Strongest Man.
And Pavlo really just taking that sandbag and launching it into the truck to finish with a time of 38.61. The first time in this heat we saw sub 40 seconds. But just goes to show what I was talking about, at being consistent and pacing yourself throughout the event actually benefited him in the long run. He didn't have to worry about sprinting back too fast. He was able to conserve some energy, and that helped him on the back end to come out of this event with a win.
Pavlo wins the sandbags, and he is with Kiana Martin.
Pavlo, you seem to be a fan favorite because you started with the shirt on and then it went into the crowd. Just tell me a little bit about just the energy that you're having here right now.
You know, just people who came to the World's Strongest Man and shouting to us, you know, we love you because you're supporting us. This is very important when we travel from whole world to here. You know, my home is like 12,000 kilometers from here, and just imagine how it's important to me to make some support.
Absolutely, and you're definitely getting that. And you're coming into this competition and you did deal with a torn meniscus, but doing this event, how is your knee feeling?
I don't care about that right now. I won my group event 1, second overall. You know, just Mitch was lucky. I was a bit care about my knee on the start, so I did a bit slowly start, and after I picked the back and accelerating. So.
And just how big was this event for you just to build confidence as you head into the deadlift next?
For me, it's really important to have a good start to make me confident and just get out of my head this anxiety and bad things. So it's really important.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
A nice mental health note there from Pablo. Not only physical strength, but this is not looking good for Evan Singleton at all.
No, it is really unfortunate. Evan was looking strong and solid coming into this year, but it looks like that left arm injury is going to take him out of the competition. And I think that frustration is more about not being able to compete rather than the pain of the injury.
It's just anguish, really, and obviously the medical team taking a look. But for now, we look at Group 5. Starts off with a win by Pablo. Britain's Luke Stoltman will take second. The American Nick Guardione third. Britain's Flynn in fourth. For the next event, here's Kiana with Rob.
Thanks so much, Carter. Up next, we've got the deadlift, 771 pounds of pure iron. What do the guys have in store with this one?
This event is really just going to be an absolute grind for these athletes. 771 pounds, like you said, athletes up on this platform, strapped into the bar for as many reps as possible. Now, with this event, athletes have to wait for both the up and the down command, so they just can't grip and rip and hope that they can get as many as possible. Have to be watching for that judge's command. And again, 60 seconds is a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. You think it's quick, but maybe not so much. But when you're thinking about an event like this, is it more so technique, or is this just pure power and strength?
This event is all about strength and grit. Like I said, 60 seconds might not seem like that long of a time, but under this sun, watching that judge's call and fighting for every single rep, these athletes are going to be putting it all to the test to get every single rep at every single point to see who can win.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it, and we will catch that on the other side when the SBD World's Strongest Man returns.
The SBD World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes, and by Connect, beyond maximum security.
Welcome back to the SBD World's Strongest Man in Sacramento, California. Up next for the athletes, the deadlift for reps.
That is right, Carter. 771 pounds on this bar for the athletes. Only 1 minute to get as many reps as possible, and the most reps wins.
I would like to repeat that number, 771. And Nick Guardione from USA will be up first.
Representing Great Britain, Andrew
Flynn from Great Britain, but I do want to circle back to that number, Rob. 771, that is ridiculous.
It's a pretty heavy weight, and again, these athletes have to do it for as many reps as possible. What's interesting also is listening to the judge in the background. They're going to be giving up and down commands to these athletes, so the athletes have to go on the judge's call, knowing that the lift is good each rep.
How do you practice this?
Well, typically you take some weight, you add it to a barbell, make it really heavy, pick it up a bunch of times.
Oh, that was very well said, Rob. And not just lifting one time, but the repetition. That seems to be an extremely hard challenge.
Yeah, and especially in this heat. It is hot out here today. Athletes are strapped into that barbell. Again, only 60 seconds. You see that clock ticking down in the upper left-hand corner, but Andrew Flynn on 6 reps is a solid start to get that many, to put him in a good position with only a few athletes left to go.
For Nick Guardione.
So 4 reps in second, but another strong performance
In Group 5
from
with
Flynn.
6 reps. Let's hear it for Andrew Flynn.
And you can just see how much he is loving being out here in front of the crowd, grinding through every single rep that he earned here in this event. What a great start to the competition for the rookie Andrew Flynn.
And now it is on to Kordiaka and Luke Stoltman, and these are 2 major contenders for the title in 2025. Pablo, after the win in the sandbags, now on to the deadlift reps, and with the floppy hat, the Luke Stoltman, one of the great strong men anywhere in the world. So this should be a terrific competition.
It really is going to be interesting, and not to take anything away from either of these athletes, but deadlifting tends to not be their strong suit. So is this an opening for Guardione or Flynn to squeak some points away? But I will say Pavlo looks wildly comfortable strapped into that bar.
Well, you heard the conversation with Kiana where he talked about the importance of representing Ukraine, and dare I say he is giving reason to celebrate for those who root for Pablo. 4, and the struggle to get up and down. Not going to count yet.
Still waiting for that down call from the judge, and I will say this is a trick from my book. It is a technique I used when I was deadlifting. Unfortunately, not able to be successful there, but I think the real story is that man right there, Luke Stoltman, only getting 2 reps.
I mean, both Pablo and Luke are frustrated. I mean, 2 reps, that's not a Luke Stoltman standard.
And with 4 reps, let's hear it for Pavlo Kordiaka.
Pablo got 4 quickly, but unable to improve on that.
And Pablo really looks strong here on these first 4 reps. Coming out hot, making that barbell look nice and fast, but unfortunately hit that proverbial wall and wasn't able to get more than that.
It is worth repeating, Andrew Flynn not only wins the event, but that's 771 pounds up and down 6 times. That is worth celebrating. Our standings after 2 events, Pavlo Kordiaka of Ukraine, number 1, followed by Flynn, Guardione, Luke Stoltman. Singleton has withdrawn. Let's check in with Kiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time from Andrew Flynn. And this is now winning your first event in your very first World's Strongest Man and your first competition in the U.S. outside of Great Britain. That's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, to be able to kind of like adapt on the fly, and with this heat, it's completely kind of different kind of bowl of fish, but yeah, it's kind of, I'm stringing it along.
Yeah, absolutely. You're springing it along because now you are sitting in the top 2 in your group. How big of an advantage? How big of an advantage is that going after your second event?
Yeah, it's a pretty comfortable. You know, I'm pretty good all round, so as long as I can keep on putting out these performances, then hopefully I'll just manage to get my way into that final.
And you said that this is the year of the upsets. Did you just pull off one right here?
Yeah, I think I did. You think I did? Yeah?
I think you did.
Yeah, that was good.
There we go. Congratulations, and we'll see you along the way.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
With only 4 athletes remaining, the race is growing tighter in the campaign to the final. 3 more events remain to get to the biggest stage in strength athletics. Up next, the overhead medley, when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man. Stream CBS Sports HQ, your free 24/7 snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. Catch highlights, in-depth analysis, and breaking news anywhere you are. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. And welcome back to beautiful Sacramento, California, and the SBD World's Strongest Man. The next event for Group 5, an extreme test of arm strength, the overhead medley.
That is right. 4 implements, 7 reps to complete this event. We have objects weighing from 199 all the way up to 370 pounds. Only 1 minute and 15 seconds to complete this course, and the most objects lifted in the fastest time gets the win. World's Strongest Man veteran Luke Stoltman about to take on the overhead medley, but let's learn more about him in the SBD Power Profile.
Luke Stoltman, 40 years old, 6'3", 342 pounds, representing Great Britain. Feeling good, yeah, look in good shape, but number 1, I want to come and enjoy myself this year, and I want to be there for Tom for his 4th win. He's in his element, looking in fantastic shape. You know, Tom puts the work in and he comes alive at World's Strongest Man. I'll stand by it till the day I die. This is the only title that means anything. Right, Tom, come on! You've won 3 titles before. Why wouldn't you win a 4th? Why wouldn't you win a 5th? Why wouldn't you win a 6th? Why couldn't you be the greatest ever strongman that World's Strongest Man has had? Whatever I can do for Tom to be able to do that, I'll do it.
Luke and Tom Stoltman with World's Strongest Man history. First set of brothers ever to compete in the World's Strongest Man final.
When we set out on this journey, it was to cement that kind of legacy of the strongest brothers to ever live, as in making the final, winning these shows together, being on podiums together.
Britain's strongest man, Luke Stoltman.
It's really special, and I don't take it for granted, because it's a lot of time and a lot of effort we've had to put in to do this. We're in a really remote place in Scotland, and it's not something that's just come handed to us in a gift wrap. You know, we've had to put in hours of work. That's something that I'm gonna shout about for the rest of my life.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm the future. I'm the past. And I'm the present of strongman. I'm here to stay.
And to see, you know, I'm still here at 40, winning shows, still probably feeling better than I did when I was 30 years old. So I'm finding a little bit of joy, which is really nice. And I came here to have fun, now I'm crying. It's the name Stoltman, isn't it? It's strongman. I'm just a little boy back home in Scotland, wanting to play my mum in the beach. That's who I am. But now I get to play a big stones with my baby brother Tom.
The strongest brothers to ever live, and no one else would dare challenge that. So now Luke Stoltman looks to continue on the incredible Stoltman legacy. Nick Guardione from the United States of America, his challenger in this event.
In the overhead medley, Carter, this is a beast of an event. As I said before, 4 implements, 7 reps to get to the end. And they start off with this dumbbell that weighs 199 pounds. They have to clean up to the shoulder and press 2 times.
Rob, we saw in that SBD power profile how the Stoltman brothers train with the giant stones in Great Britain. So that seems to be a pretty good preparation for an event like this, where you have various objects to lift.
Well, and you see both of them throwing around that 320-pound log like it is weightless. But that's the beautiful thing about strongman. Find something awkward, kick it up, and there's your training.
And here's the Popeye event. Stoltman, I mean, with ease right now, Rob.
340 pounds on this circus barbell. Athletes have to get 2 reps here before making it onto that final implement, which is a 370-pound axle that they only need to get for 1 rep to complete this course and get a finishing time.
Luke Stoltman is strolling. Clock rolling over a minute, but Stoltman, I mean, Guardione's struggling right now, but Stoltman, the axle is down for the first time. And that's going to be time, yeah.
You can just see how exhausting this event actually is. Luke sprinting through those first 6 reps, but gassing out when he got to that final implement. Nick Guardione getting 5 objects in 1 minute and 7 seconds.
6 objects in a time of 49.98. Let's hear it from Luke Stoltman.
So it just goes to show how difficult this event is. Even though Luke Stoltman is one of the best overhead pressers in the world, was successful with 6 reps, making that 340-pound circus barbell look effortless, but was unsuccessful with that final implement, the 370-pound axle.
As not a strong man, I can say that looks like a lot of effort, but so on to Andrew Flynn.
Pavlo Kordiaka.
And Pablo Kordiaka here in Sacramento.
Both of these athletes tend to lean into their quickness and athleticism. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack this event. Again, starting off with these circus dumbbells, 199 pounds, and you see Pablo throwing that thing around like a pebble.
I mean, he literally bounced. I mean, it is a good start for both Kordiaka and for Flynn. 6 objects under 50 seconds is the goal, and Kordiaka and Flynn are flying right now.
Again, both athletes making this 320-pound log look empty. And onto that 340-pound circus barbell, Pavlo opting to use that split jerk technique, splitting his feet to get that barbell overhead nice and efficient.
Whew. I mean, that is twice with ease, and again, strolling. So 6 objects in less than 50 seconds. Well, regardless, it's going to be a good result for Kordiaka and for Flynn.
Pavlo on to that final rep. Only 10 seconds here. Looks like he's having some trouble with the grip, and Andrew looks like that fatigue and that heavy breathing is just catching up to him at the wrong time.
Well, the crowd recognizes that that was a good result for Kordiaka and for Flynn, and I think they're both pretty pleased with where they are at the end of the overhead medley.
5 objects putting Andrew Flynn in 3rd place. Pavlo Kordiaka coming out here, putting on a show, taking the event win, getting 6 objects in 46.35 seconds. And we talked about his speed and his athleticism. You can see how effortlessly he gets this log up onto the shoulders and into a great pressing position, making him fly through all 6 of those reps.
So Kordiaka remains in the top spot with 13.5 points. Flynn and Stoltman fighting for a 2nd place tie with 10 points each. Guardione trails with 8.5. Kiana is with Stoltman now.
Luke, you are excited to come out here and showcase the 40-year-old Luke Stoltman. Are you proving to people that maybe age really isn't anything but a number?
I mean, I think we're still quite early in the day, so we'll wait and see if I can make it to the final. I'm 40. I think I've got the best abs in the competition. Pavlo might disagree with that there, but yeah, it's cool. You know, being 40, being 10 years in World's Strongest Man, coming out to America again to compete, it's a bit of a dream, and it's still very surreal for me, even 10 years in. And yeah, I'm having fun this year.
How are you feeling at this point, 3 events in, mentally, physically?
I'm very manic. One minute I'm very happy, then I'm very sad. So that's probably not a good way to be, but that's just the way life is. Physically, I'm carrying a little bit of a niggle on my back, but as long as I've got my belt on it, it kind of suppresses it. But yeah, I'm having fun. Get to see baby brother Tom absolutely smashing it. So really excited to see him win his 4th title and to see all other guys smashing it as well. It's really cool.
Now, you said you're having fun and currently tied for 2nd in your group with 2 events to go. How are you feeling the rest of the way?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 more events. So got the sandbag throw or the Titans toss and the stone medley at the end. So, I mean, I've just got to keep my head, keep enjoying it, taking it one event at a time and see if this old dog can make the final again, which would be pretty cool.
Age is nothing but a number, and you're proving it. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Cheers. I appreciate it. Cheers.
The athletes are about to take on one of the most grueling feats of strength in the qualifiers, a head-to-head throwing event that could make or break the strongest of competitors, the Titans Toss, when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man. Sacramento, California, home of this year's SBD World's Strongest Man, where the athletes of Group 5 are about to take on one of the toughest events of the competition, the Titans Toss.
10 sandbags, each weighing 30 pounds, to throw over a 12-foot-high bar, but these bags get further and further away from that bar the deeper you go. The faster time gets the win.
And up first with those 10 sandbags is Nick Guardione of the USA.
Representing Great Britain.
And from Great Britain with a big smile on his face, understandably, Andrew Flynn. So, Rob, this is a unique event, and I'm just thinking about the back strength and flexibility. How difficult is this to prepare for and get your body ready for?
You know, this is really a play on an event we've seen a lot of times. The sandbag toss or the keg toss we've seen multiple times in the sport of strongman, but never with the implements getting further away from the bar you have to throw it over. We see Nick Guardione launching those sandbags in that far side. Andrew Flynn seems to have just hit that crossbar. And the thing with this event is, if you miss one of the throws, you just have to keep going.
Guardione with 8 bags. I mean, he's making it look easy, and Flynn clearly struggling right now as Guardione tries to go for number 9.
Trying to find that sweet spot. He has a specific setup of how he likes it, getting that timing to release that bag and launch it into the air.
I don't believe that cross. No, it did not. So 8, but still a remarkable performance from Guardione.
Let's hear it for Andrew Flynn.
And Andrew Flynn getting 6 bags is certainly nothing to sleep on, but Nick Guardione was able to launch 8 of those bags in 28 seconds, which was wildly impressive for the first time we've seen this event. Nick being methodical in his setup with every bag that he approached, making sure he took that time to get those bags over that bar. 8 sandbags is certainly going to be a tough number to beat for our next 2 competitors.
The reigning Britain's strongest man, Luke Stoltman.
You hear that introduction for Luke Stoltman, the reigning Great Britain world's strongest man. But Pablo Cordiaca has a good chance, Rob, I think, of taking the 2025 SBD World's Strongest Man with the strong performances across every event we've seen.
A pillar of consistency Pablo has been, and you see both of these athletes being pretty fast in how they approach these bags. Pablo's trajectory seems to be a little bit low, and you see he misses one early.
And now a couple. So Cordiaca 4, Stoltman up to 6 bags now. 8. Well, Stoltman, there is 8, and now he goes for 9. Wow, Luke Stoltman and a chance for bag number 10.
Does he have it in him? Looks like it just came up just short. But still successful with 9 bags for Luke Stoltman. A great spot to be. Pablo only getting 4. Pretty surprising. Was expecting a little bit more out of him in this event. But again, the winner of the Titans toss, Luke Stoltman, 9 sandbags, just under 35 seconds. Looking strong and explosive here on the Titans toss, taking his time with each bag, making sure each throw was absolutely perfect, not wasting any energy, and getting into a great position.
So as we take a look at our standings here in Sacramento, Pablo Cordiaca is still on top, but Luke Stoltman charging strong. Now here's Kiana and Rob to introduce the next event.
All right, it's time for the final event of the qualifying round, the natural stone medley. Let's begin here because we've got this big rectangle. Break it down for me because I need help.
So this event is really exciting, mainly because it is testing the full strongman athlete. We're starting here on the 271-pound natural stone, and these athletes get to pick this baby up, put it up to their shoulders, and press it overhead, as we saw in the overhead medley earlier in the qualifiers, waiting for that down command for that judge so they can move on to the next stone.
Okay, I've been looking at this next stone because I'm trying to figure out what kind of shape it is. It's almost like a pill form. What are we doing?
Here's the thing about these stones, is these stones were made especially for World's Strongest Man. And the first time the athletes got to see these stones was here in Sacramento. So nobody got to train with these. The stone we're standing in front of, 350 pounds. Athletes have to get it off the ground up to one shoulder, where they have to stabilize it with only one hand before getting that down call from the judge and moving on to stone number 3.
I don't even know what you can use at home to even replicate this kind of stone, but
there's not much.
There's something iconic with this one you're going to tell me about.
So the third stone in this medley is the Husafell stone, a famous stone in the sport of strongman, 390 pounds. Athletes get to pick this off the ground and take a little bit of a stroll around that barrel and back, finishing with the stone on this mat, going to our 4th and final stone.
Nothing like a nice little stroll in the Sacramento sun. Okay, so this one, it looks like it's gonna be a breeze, but something tells me you're gonna tell me it's not.
You know, it does look comfortable, but this stone weighs 400 pounds. You know, 4 stones in, why not make it the heaviest one out of all of them? Athletes will lift this stone up off the ground onto this platform before taking both hands off, and that is when time stops and they'll complete the stone medley.
What better way to end the qualifying round with the natural stone medley? We will have this and more coming your way next when the SBD World's Strongest Man returns.
Coming up next on CBS, it's a PGA Tour Studios presentation. And then at 3 Eastern, we have PGA Tour coverage of the Wyndham Championship here on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Sacramento, California, the gracious host of this year's SBD World's Strongest Man. The athletes of Group 5 are about to take on their final event, the Natural Stone Medley.
This final event is an absolute beast. 4 natural stones ranging from 271 pounds all the way up to 400 pounds. Athletes have to complete this course in under 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the fastest time will get the win.
Nick Guardione.
Nick Guardione of the United States of America is up first. Rob, what is the biggest challenge? I mean, there's lifting weights, and then there's lifting stones of different sizes.
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing about this is we heard it before that the first time the athletes have seen these stones is here in Sacramento. So none of these athletes got to train with these stones leading up to this event. We see Nick getting a quick down call there from our head referee, Magnus Magnuson, on that first 271-pound natural stone press, and onto this 350-pound stone. Nick has to get it up to his shoulder to get that down call, and he's throwing that thing around like a pillow.
Oh, I would say it's more than a pillow fight here in Sacramento at the SBD World's Strongest Man. But Guardione, I mean, look at the confidence moving between stones.
Nick is stepping up to this Husafeld stone replica. Again, 390 pounds. He has to pick this stone up off the floor, carry it on his chest, around that barrel, and back to that mat. Certainly no easy feat after those first 2 stones and in that Sacramento heat, but he's picking this thing up and he's off to the races.
There are events in strongman competitions that you might see at your local gym. This one is unique.
It certainly is, and Nick made that look effortless. Onto that last stone, you could see that time ticking away. 1 minute and 30 seconds on that clock. 400 pounds stands in between Nick and finishing this event.
Well, 3... Yeah, that's it. That's going to be, but still a nice performance from Guardione. He's disappointed that there wasn't an opportunity for 4th, but I mean, this is one of the strongest, most fit persons in the world, and he is exhausted.
He is, but in true Nick Guardione fashion, just excited to be out here, showing some love to the crowd, and not a bad performance for his first time here at World's Strongest Man. He looked so comfortable with these stones. If he had a little bit more urgency, would most likely be able to complete all 4 stones. But taking that Husafeld stone for a stroll, he was looking confident and strong throughout this whole event.
Representing Great Britain,
strolling with the Husafeld. And now Andrew Flynn. I mean, he has his eyes on the biggest prize here in 2025 of the World's Strongest Man.
He certainly does, and this really is a question mark type of event for Andrew Flynn. We've never seen him on a natural stone event at this magnitude, so it'd be interesting to see how he performs. We know he's a well-rounded strongman, but there's a lot on the line here for Andrew Flynn going into this event.
Anytime, Andrew, big breath before you lift it.
Rob, you just talked about how you don't know the stones before you arrive here for the competition, and that seems to be bearing out for Flynn right now. Just difficulty getting a handle on that first stone.
It is. You have to find that balance point. You have to make sure your hands are in the right position. It's balanced on your shoulders. And if you look, the stone is actually a little bit bigger on one side than it is the other. So you have one side of the stone that's heavier than the other. You're trying to balance it, getting into a good position to get it overhead and get that down call.
Well, this is not going well for Flynn at all. So 3 stones in just over a minute 10, and he's at 0, approaching that same number right now.
Andrew really needs to try to calm his nerves and get this rep.
Well, got one. That's at least a confidence boost for Flynn. He's going to do away with the belt and just go after it.
Taking that belt off, he's got just under 10 seconds to try to get this stone up to his shoulder. I like that technique he's using, but is time on his side?
Can he get the second down? Not in time. He just missed the second one, and he may be waving right now, but there's some disappointment too.
Certainly disappointing for Andrew Flynn, but again, his first time here at World's Strongest Man. We spoke a little bit before about what is his experience on an event like this, and this is one of those events that sometimes being a little bit older might play into your hand.
More natural stone medley when we return.
The SBD World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes.
Welcome back to the SBD World's Strongest Man, where the athletes of Group 5 are continuing their final event, the Natural Stone Medley.
Now we know Luke is a great overhead presser. A lot of pressure on Luke here going into this final event of the qualifiers to make sure he can solidify his spot in the finals.
This feels like a make or break event for Luke Stoltman, and is certainly not an easy event, but as you said, Rob, I mean, great overhead presser.
And confidence on that first rep. You know, we all know Luke has been around the block a few times in this sport. He's made multiple World's Strongest Man appearances. And you can see that experience coming into play. How he's taking his time approaching this second stone, knowing that it's been causing some difficulty for some athletes leading up to this point. He wants to make sure he sets himself up for success, like he just did with switching that stone's position up onto the shoulder.
Down.
Dare I say that he is approaching this event like the veteran. Look how confident Luke is with 50 seconds and going for stone number 3.
Again, onto that Husafell. Now, Luke has lifted stones like this Husafell in the past, so I expect this out of him. That confidence to just go up, get it into a good position, take it for that spin around the barrel and back to the mat. But will he be successful in all 4? He looks excited, he looks focused. 400 pounds on this final stone.
Well, 3 stones, and here comes stone number 4, and he actually has a little bit of time to play with here, metaphorically.
Having some trouble with that grip. And he's gonna give the crowd a smile and be proud of that performance for sure.
A strong showing with 3 stones for Luke Stoltman in the medley.
Final. It's the Highland Oak, Big Luke Stoltman.
3 stones in 1 minute and 9 seconds, giving Luke a spot in the World's Strongest Man final. And what a great finish to the qualifying round for Luke Stoltman. Experience has paid off here, taking his time through the first 2 stones, being comfortable and confident on this Husafell carry, 390 pounds on his chest, but making it look light.
Now can Pablo Cordiaca join him in the finals, and Pablo Cordiaca will begin with stone number 1 and a confident start, as you would expect from the Ukrainian.
Again, 271 pounds. We saw how effortlessly he pressed the other implements over his head in the overhead medley just before. But Pablo having some balance issues early here with this stone.
So you just reset. Now time is ticking away, but stone number 1 perhaps is going to be past 30 seconds.
And again, this is a moment Pablo needs to try to stay composed. And there he is.
Mission accomplished.
Gets that overhead, and he is pumped up about that.
I think Pablo knows maybe even just 2 stones in the medley could be enough to get him into the finals. We will see.
Notice how he's spinning the orientation of that stone to be a little bit more favorable to him, getting into that lat position, wrapping his hands around, giving it a nice big squeeze, and popping it up onto the shoulders.
Dare I say that's an understatement, a nice big squeeze. And now, with just a few seconds remaining, going for stone number 3. No, that's it. And we'll celebrate Pablo's 2 stones.
You know, why waste the energy if you don't need
Through to
to?
his third SBD World
And he
Strongest Man
advances to the
final.
final. So
Give it up
Pablo
for
and
Pablo
Luke are
Kodiaka.
both through to the 2025 SBD World Strongest Man final.
And even though there was a little bit of hesitancy on that first stone for Pablo, he stayed composed, got that down call, and secured his spot in the World's Strongest Man final. Both of these athletes have been finalists before, and they are going to the finals yet again.
Let's take a look at the final group standings. Stoltman took the group, taking first, and the qualifying spot into this year's final with an impressive performance. Pablo Kodiaka, our second qualifier. Nick Gordione will take third in the group. Britain's Flynn takes fourth. With 10 of the strongest men in the World's Strongest Man final will prove to be one of the most challenging competitions in the sport. Who will come out as the champion? Find out next time on the SBD World's Strongest Man. For Rob Kearney and Kiana Martin, I'm Carter Blackburn. In association with 45 Live and Texas Crew Productions, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports.